Hello, everyone. Listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart. I'm Erica.
I'm Akila.
I'm Nicole.
Welcome to HeartsChat. So tonight we're going to be talking about ADHD and medical doctors and professionals diagnosing or why ADHD is often, not really counted as like a real thing or overdiagnosed. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into our topic, we're going to just do our check-in. So how are we doing tonight?
Pretty good.
Great.
All right. Well, I'm feeling good. I'm glad that we got a chance to do something together because we talked about before, like doing like something once a month, and then like we kind of fell off and didn't do that because the only time we get together most of the time is if we have a HeartsChat stuff to do. So we went to brunch the other day. You should probably, if you follow us on Instagram, you saw our pictures, HeartsChat Radio. So that was nice. I had to put the plug in there.
Yeah.
HeartsChat Radio is our Instagram. If you're not really following us, you can follow us on there. But I had a nice time. I thought the food was good. The drinks were good.
Yeah, the music was amazing.
Yes, the music was amazing.
It was just overall a great experience. And we got a picture of Mimosa on the house.
Yes.
That was nice.
What?
Yes.
That's what happens when you come early and you're beautiful.
Oh, yes.
Hair flip. Why not just really do it? Yeah, so that was nice. I think we should do more things, try and think of like other things we can do outside of HeartsChat, even though we still made it about HeartsChat.
Yes.
Yeah, because we cannot.
How can you not do that?
Yeah, and we enjoy that too. So it's not like we don't like to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah.
And going there, I got, ideas from y'all going out the other day, ideas and maybe someone, because I want to have a housewarming party, but I want it to be very elaborate.
Yeah.
So, the DJ from this place, I'm going to see if you could DJ it.
Yeah.
The possible mixologist /
I met a
bodyguard.
mixologist. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's like going out and networking and trying to talk to people. Other things can come out of it.
That's
Right.
very true.
And a good thing for us, we were sitting there because we didn't know what to expect, what it was going to be like. So it was mostly you go and you sit down at your table, you come with your friends. We brought our business cards so we can kind of network and do that. And we did a little bit. We gave our cards to a couple people. But we were talking about for ourselves as far as growth as, what we do, being able to go to places and being comfortable to go up to people and say, oh, this is what I do. Here's my card. Or how are you, smoozing or whatever they call it. So we know that's something we have to get better at and feel comfortable doing that. Because I know, it's like we're sitting there eating. I don't want somebody to come up to my table, at the same time, I don't really mind if somebody were to come up to me.
I think that's some of the issue is that because they're tables, it's kind of like group. If it was more open space and people were just walking around mingling, then it would have been we would have been like, oh, hey, here, this and this and that.
Maybe the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Which
the other
I
side people
assumed
were.
the other side would be like.
Yeah.
It was kind of loud over there.
Yeah.
So
We also could, like we got there earlier, which I'm sure it's not going to be the first time that we ever do that.
Yeah.
Is, tell them in the beginning can we put this on every table?
Mm-hmm.
Something like that in the cards.
Yeah, that's a
I just
good
thought
idea.
of that now.
That's a good idea.
We should have done that.
See, it's okay. We could leave some on our table.
Yeah.
So you never know who picked it up. Maybe throw it away, but they might say, oh, this looks interesting.
What is this?
Yeah. We even remember the FedEx lady we saw?
Yeah.
And we gave her a card?
Gave her a card, yep.
Yeah, so you never know, so.
Always promote yourself and your brand.
Exactly.
Okay. Anything else going on, or nothing but the rent, or what?
Nothing but the rent. You were right.
Nothing going on but the
bills.
All right.
That's all I get in the mail. Bills, so depressing. Bills is all I get in the mail. Well, besides my little cousins, I'm pen pals with them now, so that's nice when I get
cute.
That is cute.
Yeah, when I get their things, it's so cute.
How old are they?
Jade just turned 10, and Avi is 8 or 9.
Oh my God.
The other ones, I write them notes sometimes, but they're like 6 or I think they're 6 and 7.
That's so cute, and I always remember that.
Yes.
I know, I like it because I don't get to be with them and and see them growing up and talk to them all the time. So it's kind of like they love when I come home and I love to see them. And like now that they're a little older, they can actually remember because when kids, my other little cousin Quinlan, I come there and he's looking at me like I'm crazy because he don't remember who I am.
You're gonna be that lady. Remember me? You remember me? I knew you when you was this little. Hit your little cheeks.
He's like, I don't know who you are,
You be like,
dear lady.
No.
Yeah, he knows everyone else. He don't know me well, so it's sad. But I'm trying to think of ways to still keep them in. And the 10-year-old one, I'm trying to fly her up to Philly because my first trip by myself was when I was 9 or 10. So I'm trying to convince her parents and her to bring her. Yeah, so I can help her out in some ways too. She needs some help, but also, I think that's pretty cool, especially being the oldest of all of the great grands. Mm-hmm. You can get that special thing. Yeah.
Well, nice. Okay, so we're gonna get focused, and stay on task as we talk about ADHD. So just a quick definition for ADHD I found on just WebMD. You can Google and find plenty of definitions. There's also a website called Kids Health, too, because kids are mostly diagnosed with ADHD. But it says it's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. That's what ADHD stands for. And it affects children and teens and can continue into adulthood. ADHD is the most commonly diagnosed mental disorder of children. And children with ADHD may be hyperactive and unable to control their impulses, or they may have trouble paying attention. So that's just a quick snap pick of what ADHD is about. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that it says that ADHD is the most commonly diagnosed disorder in children, and I think that's probably the number one reason why some doctors don't believe that ADHD is like a thing or a real thing. And also kids, like what kid doesn't mostly have a lot of energy?
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's funny that we're talking about this now because I had a conversation with my one I was interviewing for Seton Hall with one of the professors about this topic in general and how ADHD is being overdiagnosed, specifically in the minority community.
That's been always.
Yep. Yeah.
Always. It's like, we don't know what you are, slap this on. And we don't care to find out.
Exactly. And then it's kind of like, more often than not, a lot of these kids are like experiencing trauma. So why do we expect them to be acting and behaving in a certain way? And why are we not looking at it as more PTSD and not ADHD? So that's why I was like, yes, let's do this. But it's so common. Like everybody, like, oh yeah, I have ADHD. Like they're medicating kids for it.
I think that's a very good way that we need to start looking at a little bit more because even if you're not living in a trauma-filled environment, your accessibility to the internet and to the world and to everything around you, you can get secondary trauma. So I think that's very, very key. And like, let's say you see something, natural disaster that happens, or you see some kid getting abducted, or you see all these killings, or you see whatever it is that traumatizes you. That person may not be able to pay attention in school or at home or whatever because they're lost in their head of thinking all the possibilities of these bad things happening to them.
Yeah. And that's true. I've worked with people that, they're coming in because they saw something scary on the news and that really affected them and they're there. Or we also do trauma screens at work and you have to ask like all these traumatic, different things that happen. And a lot of times kids will say things that they saw on TV that they didn't see in real life, but they saw it, and if you answered that, then it must have, affected you. Sometimes they just, they haven't, and they just say that. But sometimes there are things that they see on TV or accident they drove by on the highway that we think, I hope everything's okay, but, they're affected by it.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Very true. Nowadays, I don't really have met somebody who doesn't think ADHD is real. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or that isn't my personal experience. I haven't really met too many people. I have definitely encountered over medication and just slapping that ADHD on there when people are having difficulties. And it's not just children. Like I was telling you all that I know this person who was in college and was like just working a lot and had a lot of classes and just couldn't focus because overworking yourself.
Yeah. Too many things to focus on. Yeah,
too many things to focus on. Like you can't focus on it. You just overload. Mm-hmm. So she went to her primary care doctor, and the primary care did like this one little simple screen thing, and then gave her, said, oh, I think you have ADHD. Here's some Adderall. So she's on this Adderall, and the Adderall basically, she's not ADHD. Like she's not. So she basically wound up having a mental breakdown, had to take a leave of absence at her school for a little bit because she was never could sleep, was always up, and because she was so up all the time, she was doing, certain stuff to make her come down, and then she was down, and then she went into this like weird like depression type thing, hermit type stage, all this stuff because she was just spiraling out trying to balance out. But if you don't have ADHD and you're taking Adderall, Ritalin, it's not going to calm you down like it does with someone who has, it's going to speed you up, and you're going to focus on, she was focusing all right, but she was focusing on her, random thoughts or things that like gave her anxiety or things that would make her sad. Like it was nothing that she really needed to focus. Nothing productive.
That's why you gotta, be alert of, different changes in your body and, the symptoms, so you can tell your doctor, this is what's going on, this was happening before. Give them more knowledge, so then maybe they can be like, oh, okay, well, you don't have that. But I do know someone who is a doctor, and they do not believe in ADHD. And I get it, it's overdiagnosed, so you don't want to feed into that. But there are some people who do have it.
Yes, there's legit ADHD.
Yeah, it's just a matter of using the right assessment tools and kind of, weighing some things out. But I think one thing that would be helpful is if, PCP, primary care physicians, diagnose people or kids and they give them medication. I've never had, not anybody that I see, one of their doctors call me.
Nope.
Or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've had maybe a couple of parents mention, I'm thinking I would like my kid to, try this medication. It's usually a last resort, and they want to talk to their, their doctor. But a lot of times they either already had it, from their doctor, and they're coming in.
Yeah. And
then same with teachers. I reach out, to teachers a lot. I don't really have that many there's a handful that reach out to me, but, they have those assessments they can follow about, the behavior in the classroom.
Yes.
But there's more to it than that. I don't think that should just solely alone be the only way to diagnose ADHD, because these behaviors in the classroom.
Yeah, doesn't it have to be in all realms though? Like home?
No.
Well, there's two sheets. There's one for the parent at home, and then there's one for the teacher to fill out at school. Like some of the same stuff. But the teachers will say, this is what I see. I think your kid has ADHD. I think if more PCPs and the people that are working with your kids, if they consult it with mental health professions, doesn't have to be their therapist, but maybe their school guidance counselor or the psychologist at the school or at the hospital or the clinic, talk to them to get a better, idea of exactly what it is, not just these 3 behaviors and, it's definitely ADHD. So I think that's, where part of the problem is, that gap.
I don't think any just MD, that's a, primary care or whatever, should be diagnosing and giving medication on one stroke at the same time to anyone. If you believe it, you say you refer them out to see a mental health professional, even if it's just a psychiatrist. Right. And it's not to just prescribe them this stuff, like, sometimes you need to, but you need to see someone who is trained in this and knows and can take some more time to see it. Not here's a piece of paper, fill it out. Oh, you met the criteria of these questions that you fill, these 5 questions.
You got to ask the right questions, know. And also, you can't treat it like it's like a scratch. Like, oh, here's this medicine for your scratch. Put it on. It's not like that. It's your, mental health. You know, it's very different.
There's more to it than just goes, here's medication. You got to learn how to help yourself focus. You have to learn how to, there might be specialty type of education you might need in school to help you pay attention. If, being a child that we figure out what, all of us figure out what works for you. And, you come over a little ways to do that. Like, some people can't finish quick enough, and some people finish too quickly, and that's why they look like they're not paying attention or that they don't get it. But it's really, one, they're not gaining any of the information that you're saying because you're not teaching it how they need to be taught. And 2, if they're finishing it too quickly, you have to occupy.
You're not challenging them.
You're not challenging them at all. So there's common, threads that come about this, but everybody's individual. And you need to figure out what's best for that individual, and a doctor's not going to sit there and do that. That's what we get, paid to do, or a psychiatrist does.
Yeah, and I think that's the main issue, is treating it as general. Like, everybody's going to present the same. It's going to look the same. So just give the medicine. But that's not it. It's all very individual.
Because often, how often do you even get to see your doctor? You go for your physical, they don't know you that well. You know, so they won't say, you know, me, you know, any of us as a kid, go to the doctor, you see your doctor, okay, you come this year, get your checkup, you go back. I don't know if they knew what kind of grades you got in school, unless, like, maybe you made honor roll, your mom was like, or your dad mentioned
back
something.
Back in the day,
or,
maybe. Definitely not nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they could probably get sense of your personality a little bit, but you can behave if you want to in the doctor's office.
Oh, yeah.
You know, or maybe you get really, really nervous and you act different at the doctor's office. They don't get the full picture, you know, of really who you are, and the appointments are quick. You know, how can you know all this off that little appointment? We see people longer than that, and there's a lot of things that we don't even know or can't, you know, say for sure.
I think the old school mentality of the medical doctor still holds a little bit, because, you know, back in the day, doctors could actually do that, because they were your main source of any type of treatment for any mental or medical issues, because they would come to your house, you would go to them, and it was family type. You know, they spent an hour or so with you. It was more getting to know you. People really knew their patients. But nowadays, people don't really know their patients. You don't have enough. They overbook on purpose.
Yep.
And, you know, always behind. That's why you're always at the doctor's office for minimum 45 minutes waiting, even though you schedule an appointment.
Unless you're the first patient.
Yeah, unless you're the first one. So I think that still upholds and kind of loses sight that maybe you need to see someone else. Plus, there's stigma on mental health.
Yeah.
Goes back to what we always talk about, communication.
Yeah.
You know, communication between the professionals.
Ultimately.
You know? Yeah.
Collaboration.
Yeah. And I think the parents of, you know, the kids aren't diagnosed is a big bridge too. Bridge to the gap also, because you can communicate back and forth of what was said. You know, if you're able to do
I agree with that. Parents are a huge factor in all of this, because they are going to see everything and talk to everybody. So getting the numbers of the therapists to the doctors, or vice versa, or the schools, like having them provide that more. Right.
Well, you know what's interesting when I was reading that definition, and it said, I just wanted to highlight it. It said, like, no cure, that it lasts, you know, lifetime. I've heard a lot of times people say, you had ADHD, oh, they grew out of it. You know, they don't have it anymore.
You don't grow out of that.
No, you don't.
You might learn how to be able to maintain better and to adjust to life, but you don't grow out of it.
If you even had it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you, they're saying you're growing out of it. Did you have it? Like,
right?
No, probably not.
Right. There's also people that were diagnosed as children, and then they get older, and like you said, they manage it differently. And then later in life, they find, I'm still struggling with these same things I struggled when I was a kid, but they took medication before, and now, I guess, as an adult, they feel they don't have to, or somebody said they don't need to, or whatever happened, and they're not taking it anymore.
Yep.
When you really need it.
Exactly.
I just find that adults have a harder time accepting the fact that they do have ADHD.
Yeah. I think it's still the stigma around medication. You take medication, you're crazy. Like, why do you need medication to do these things? But people need it. You're not crazy. Like,
why not take something that's going to help you, like, be able to function in this world? I don't believe there's anyone in this world that doesn't have something, take something, does something that helps them to function properly in this world. Whether it is a medication, whether it's an activity, whether it's a food, whether it's whatever it is.
It's an enhancement. You know, you can think of it as women who wear makeup. You wear makeup, you know, to enhance the features that you already have, or you feel like it makes you look better, whatever. Or there is an analogy I heard, glasses. You know, people wear glasses. That's like your medicine for your eyes, because you need it. Without them, you can't see as well. When you put your glasses on, you can focus better. Yes. I use that a lot with the kids that, you know, take the medicine, because it's all about, I can't focus, or, you know, I'm bad. And I say, well, people, you have to wear glasses, and it helps you to focus. You can see better. It's kind of like that.
It's essentially the same thing. It
just matter how you think about it.
Medicine for your eyes, exactly.
Yeah.
It's sad, though, because of the over-medication of it. It deters parents a lot from what I see of their kid wanting to take medication, and they'll try to say, I'll do everything I can before I go there, or never putting on medication, which there are some people who straight up need medication, whether it's a small dose, whether it's a large dose, whether 100%. It's just during school hours and not on weekends or every day. But it's really hard, and really, you know, it's not easy on our part to try to make people understand that they're, you know, possibly their child needs this, or that they need this. But the over-diagnosing and over-medication of it is it's hurting people who really need it. Mm-hmm. It's like Xanax. Like people, it was created for anxiety, and people who really have anxiety, it really does help them a lot. Yeah. But now it has been so abused, and the addictive behavior to it, because people are abusing it and not using it for what it's really needed for. Yep. They really won't prescribe that to anybody.
I think part of ADHD being like, overly diagnosed is that there's certain disorders that we hear about over and over and over again, or certain diagnoses that we always hear about. And so I think hearing about it, you're like, you get these little few things from it, and you run with it and think, oh, I know, you probably have that, just because we hear it so much, that you think this is, got it. Kind of like person gets sick, oh, you probably have the flu or you have a cold. Yeah. Like, it's never, usually not your sinuses, you have an allergic reaction or something. It's usually you got the flu or you got a cold or something. I think that's kind of how ADHD is looked at and why it's just overdiagnosed. Maybe if you knew of more disorders and really knew about them, because like you said, the PTSD example that you gave, some people think it has to be like really, really, very, very traumatic. Yeah. Like you have to go to war in order to have PTSD. But, you don't. Your kid could have PTSD.
Or whatever else is going on, exactly.
Yeah. Or an adjustment disorder, that's
similar.
Diagnosed a lot, like ADHD. But I don't know if a lot of people know about adjustment disorders.
Probably not.
Like we know about, we know what's put out there. We know what PTSD on a greater, like, the more severe PTSD. We don't know about it, like, on a lower scale. We know about ADHD. We know about depression.
Bipolar.
Autism. But there's a lot of diagnoses that we don't know about that, aren't considered.
Yeah, there's a big prevalence of bipolar and schizophrenia, but people do not talk about schizophrenia or bipolar unless it's like being like, oh, they must be schizophrenic if they're like someone's out there and they just look weird to you, or you must be bipolar if your moods are switching that day or something like that. It's never truly understanding it. And ADHD, I believe in beginning stages a lot of times as children, it can either be a starting point or look like ADHD, but it's really could be bipolar or a stronger, a more, I wouldn't say stronger, what am I trying to say? Another mental health disorder, because like schizophrenia and bipolar, they're very, very serious. Mm-hmm. Yeah. ADHD is very serious, but those ones can really harm you if you don't take care of ADHD or bipolar and schizophrenia. But for children, I think, we'll see later, because there's so much kids who are diagnosed with ADHD, we can't diagnose people with kids with certain mental health diagnosis at a young age, that when they progress, and that's when you say they grow out of it, that they might just have something else and not really have that, like, we were talking about.
Right.
That's true.
So it goes back to being knowledgeable.
Yeah.
If this is something, if this is something you're looking into, or you think you have it, or your kid has it, doing your research and asking, mental health professionals about it.
Talking to all, exactly.
Like, don't count us out. I feel like they get counted out. You get something, and the first place you go is probably your doctor.
Yeah.
And recognize the surroundings and what, for specifically kids, of what the environment's like. If they're on TV and TV on their phone and on the computer at the same time, what the heck makes you think that when they're in school with nothing but a teacher talking with whatever is going to make them pay attention?
It's not.
They're used to multitasking and doing more than one thing at a time, so they're gonna look like they're ADHD because this is how they're being raised. Yeah. So to pay attention to that, pay attention to the PTSD, possible traumatic things, pay attention to what's going on in the life. If parents are getting divorced, or someone died, or something happened like that to hurt them. And
I think you gotta pay attention to what you say in front of your kid.
Yeah.
Because kids pick up on everything, and they're listening to you in the doctor's office, in your therapist's office, the phone calls, like you said, if somebody passed away or was on the news. How many incidents have we heard about school shootings and things like that? And the kid might not know, if this was a high school or elementary school. They just hear school shooting, That's scary.
Very.
So I think you just have to be aware of, what you were saying, what kids are experiencing and what they're hearing from you.
Yeah, because they're always around even when they're not around. Like, that's what I keep finding out.
Yeah. Because, I mean, how many times have your parents said, get out of my mouth. Why are you in adult conversation? This is grown folks' business.
Yeah.
Kids, you're always around. The kids want to know.
Oh, yeah.
And they will be nosy, ear to the wall, any way you can.
Yeah,
creeping around the corner, you don't think they're there.
Glass to the wall.
Yeah.
I still do it. I hear my parents talking low. I'm like, who must be important?
Yeah.
Like, oh, what they say? Yeah. So that's important to know.
Yeah. All right. I think that was basically the wrap up.
Yeah, that was like a wrap up.
Okay.
All right.
Take it away.
All right. Well, you know what time it is.
If you are an artist and would like us to play your music or have a product or brand that you would like us to advertise, or if you have any questions or comments, please email us at HeartsChat@HeartsChatRadioshow.com. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Periscope at HeartsChat, and our Instagram at HeartsChatRadio. We post a lot of motivational messages up throughout the day, so if you need a little inspiration or pick-me-up, follow our pages. And for more information on HeartsChat, be sure to visit our website, www.heartchatradioshow.com.
We hope you enjoyed our show today. Tune in every Sunday and Tuesday on HeartsChatRadioshow.com for a new episode of HeartsChat. So don't forget to tune in again at HeartsChatRadioshow.com and check us out.
And visit my blog and ask me all of your relationship questions anonymously at FromEricasHeart.com. Thank you for listening to HeartsChat, where we speak from the heart.
Bye.
Bye-bye.